Montenegro, 2006. Casino Royale is in full swing. James Bond, impeccable in his tuxedo, sits across from La Cifra at the most dangerous poker table in the world. Millions are at stake, but something more sinister lurks in the shadows. A waiter approaches discreetly. "Your martini, Mr. Bond." The glass glistens, perfect, ice cold. Bond takes it, drinks, and continues to play. But something's wrong. His hands start to tremble. His vision blurs. Poker becomes a race against time. Digitoxin. Cardiac poisoning. Bond has only minutes before his heart stops forever. He rushes to his Aston Martin, connects a defibrillator, and saves himself by mere seconds. That scene from Casino Royale isn't just spectacular cinema. It's a poisoning manual that blends real science with cinematic tension. Because in the world of poison, the line between fiction and reality is thinner than you think. It's death, it's life. It has toppled kings and sown wonders. Conspiracy and science, crime and salvation. Echoes of shadow, flashes of light. This is Poison, Cure or Curse, where the deadly and the miraculous merge into a single vial. Poison is cinematically perfect. It doesn't need explosions or chase scenes, just a trembling glass in shaky hands, a face twisted in horror, and the deadly silence that follows. From Snow White's poisoned apple to the intellectual jewels in The Princess Bride, poison has turned fairy tales into nightmares of tension. But it was in the 21st century that one series completely revolutionized our view, Breaking Bad. What Vince Gilligan achieved was turning chemistry into the main character. Walter White didn't just cook meth, he distilled raw power. Every compound he handled transformed him from teacher to architect of chaos. Walter White started cooking blue crystal, but ended up perfecting something far more sinister, Ricin. A poison extracted from castor beans, so lethal that a single milligram can kill an adult, and so discreet it can hide in a tea bag. Remember Lydia? The obsessive executive with her stevia and perfect routine. Walter knew that obsession would be her downfall. A chamomile tea bag, an invisible powder, and her fate was sealed. Ricin really is that lethal. What's terrifying about Breaking Bad is that it never exaggerated the science. Walter White knew exactly what he was doing, and that made him the perfect villain, a man who wielded knowledge as a weapon. But Walter didn't stop at Ricin. Hydrofluoric acid to dissolve bodies, red phosphorus to make improvised bombs. The show revealed how the same chemistry that saves lives can also destroy them. Walter White's evolution is reflected in his use of chemistry, from educational tool to deadly instrument. And that transformation hypnotized us for 6 seasons. If Breaking Bad showed us poison as a clandestine art, James Bond elevates it to elite engineering. In the world of espionage, toxins don't just kill, they do it with style. The Casino Royale, 2006, scene is a gem of modern thriller. Digitoxin really can cause lethal arrhythmias. It's not just a cinematic trick, but a reminder that poisons can strike when least expected. But Bond doesn't stop there. Cyanide capsules bitten in Skyfall, poisoned cigarettes in The Spy Who Loved Me. The 007 universe has turned poisons into a lethal art form. And always with that British touch, elegant, precise, and utterly deadly. If there's a queen of poison in fiction, it's Agatha Christie. The Queen of Crime used toxins in over 30 novels, with a precision that still amazes modern toxicologists. Christie worked as a nurse and pharmacy technician during World War I. She knew poisons intimately, their effects, their timing, their symptoms. Her debut novel introduced us to strychnine, which causes violent spasms until asphyxiation. A brutal beginning to a lethal literary career. Christie didn't just write about poisons, she knew them deeply. Her descriptions were so accurate that they even helped alert doctors to real-life poisoning cases. Jumping to the present, few shows have used poison with such dramatic power as Game of Thrones. The poisoning of King Joffrey with the Strangler is one of modern television's most iconic moments. What's fascinating is how audiences, usually horrified by violence, celebrated this death. It's a perfect case of poetic justice served in a goblet of wine. The Strangler is inspired by real plants like foxglove, whose effects can cause paralysis and death by asphyxiation. Even in a fantasy world, Game of Thrones uses poison just as it has been used throughout history, as a tool of power and survival. But poison in film doesn't just kill. It's a powerful metaphor for our deepest fears. In Parasite, by Bong Joon-ho, there's no literal poison, but the smell of the poor family becomes a kind of social poison, marking an invisible boundary between classes. In fairy tales, Snow White's apple teaches us about the deceptive nature of the harmless. In contemporary cinema, poisons and drugs have become symbols of abuse and revenge. Poison represents many of our modern fears: invisible contamination, intimate betrayal, slow corruption. In a world obsessed with purity, poison is the perfect antagonist. Beyond its chemical toxicity, poison is a perfect narrative tool. It allows powerless characters to level the playing field against stronger enemies. It's the weapon of the weak against the strong. And perhaps that's where its power lies, in its moral ambiguity. Poison is never neutral, it always depends on the intent of the one who wields it. Poisons satisfy our curiosity for the forbidden in a safe way. They let us explore the limits of human morality from the comfortable distance of a screen. From the Borgias to Breaking Bad, from Bond's poisoned martini to Walter White's chamomile tea, poisons are never just chemicals. They are instruments of power that alter destinies and transform those who use them. As science advances, fictional poisons evolve with it. But their essence remains. They are substances that change the natural course of things, one drop at a time. The next time you see a glass of wine in a movie, ask yourself, what secrets does that seemingly innocent liquid hide? One drop can change everything. Because poison, like the stories that carry it, always leaves a mark, invisible, but irreversible. In our next episode, we'll explore arsenic, the silent killer that has poisoned empires and toppled dynasties. If you enjoyed this episode, subscribe and share it. Leave your comments, because in the end, the story of poison is also the story of humanity. Poison, Cure or Curse is a production by Francisco Martinez. Thank you for joining us on this toxic journey. And may this story have taken effect, like the best poisons, silent at first, deadly in the end. Until the next poison.